Today, I wanted to talk to you about when you just can't shake the blah, right? You just feel like you're stuck in a slump and kind of understanding what that is and what to do about it. And I'm going to share a story with you that happened to me yesterday just about this exact situation. But in case you're new to the channel, my name is Dr. Lori Marbus. I'm a board certified family and lifestyle medicine physician, and I'm so happy to have you here. But please feel free to click the subscribe button. I deliver information like this every single day. You can look back and see, I think, 5 or 6 years worth of all sorts of stuff. So, and there's also a link in the description below to sign up for my weekly newsletter. I would love to have you join us. And I send out every single week information on how to lower cholesterol, hypertension, losing weight, menopause, how to shake the blahs, and a delicious recipe to go with it. And in particular, I think I'm working on a very special hypertension protocol. I've already shared my cholesterol lowering protocol that I've seen work great with patients, but I'm thinking of sending that out next week, so you might want to sign up. That's just a carrot. So let's jump right in, and I'll tell you a little bit of story. So yesterday, my dog Daisy's laying here next to me. You can't see her, but she and I walk most every single morning. And usually these mornings are fabulous, right? I just feel so full of energy and alive and thankful and grateful. But man, yesterday it was really weird. I was listening to my normal podcast or book or whatever, and it just wasn't resonating with me. So I pulled out my earplugs or my earbuds and just was thinking to myself, what is going on? Like, I just didn't feel well, like, and not physically well, but just emotionally, mentally stressed. And there's nothing going on really, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And so I started doing all the things I tell other people to do. I was taking deep breaths, going through gratitude, you name it, I was doing it. I was outside by the ocean, I was moving my body, I was with my lovely dog, and I still couldn't do it. And this went on for at least the first 2.5 miles of our walk. And then we stopped and ran into two different men who just thought Daisy was the cat's meow, because she's a very happy, loving, very sociable animal. We'll make out with you on the first meeting immediately. She's super sweet and always wagging her tail, so it just makes you smile. And it was really interesting after that interaction and just seeing how delighted these gentlemen were with just seeing Daisy and being able to talk to her and talk to me. They're like, thank you for sharing. It was so lovely of you to do that. And after that, I was on cloud 9, and it was really interesting. I needed that social interaction to really help me get out of that weird emotional rut that I had no reason or understanding of why it was occurring. And so I wanted to highlight that to you, because you could, again, be doing everything right and feeling like you're doing everything right, and you're still at a loss as to why am I feeling this way? It's just so frustrating. So that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because it was really disconcerting to me why that happens, because I'm usually a pretty happy-go-lucky, if something does get on my skin, I try to really quickly let it go, not take anything personal, or try to not to make assumptions. And I try to live my life to that higher frequency vibration, and just really want to be a positive force for people's lives. And man, I just wasn't doing it on my own. So anyway, so let me get to, the whole point here, when you can't shake the blah mood, and just kind of understanding and overcoming that slump. And again, I know we've all been there, that just seems like there are days that nothing seems particularly wrong, but you just can't shake that sense of blah. But it's not sadness exactly, and it's not burnout either, but just a persistent feeling of kind of like a low energy and lack of interest in things that normally excite you, right? Like walking along the ocean. I love that. But these blah moods can kind of sneak up out of nowhere, leaving you just kind of feeling disconnected from yourself and your surroundings. So what do you do when this gray cloud seems to hover indefinitely? Like for 2.5 miles of the first part of the walk, I was like, ridiculous. Well, let's dive into it and see what could be happening, how to gently steer yourself out of the funk, right? So what's going on in a blah mood. So it's tempting to kind of just brush off this low energy state as a simple case of feeling off. However, a blah mood often signals there's an underlying need for attention, right? So both mentally and physically. So here are a few of the common causes. Number one is mental fatigue. And maybe I didn't sleep as well the night before, so that might be part of it. So mental fatigue, even if you're not outwardly stressed, your brain might be experiencing burnout from overthinking, constant decision-making, or unresolved worries. Number two is lack of physical movement, right? A sedentary day can trigger sluggishness. The body craves movement, and when it doesn't get it, the mind can feel just as lethargic. Number three is routine overload. So doing the same thing every day without variation can dull your senses and really lower your emotional energy. We really thrive on novelty, stimulation, and without that, monotony can easily set in. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I'm excited about living in an RV, because every single month we're going somewhere new people to meet, new places to explore. So that is really wonderful. But number four is emotional underload, right? So sometimes a blah mood can result from not engaging enough emotional stimulation, like meaningful conversations or doing things that ignite joy and passion. Hence, why I felt better after a lovely conversation with two strangers. I mean, they were just absolutely delighted. And maybe Daisy will sit up here in a minute. Usually she'll stick her head in. Hey, Daisy, you want to say hi? Come here. Want to say hi? No, you're not going to do it? No? Okay. But yeah, so really that could be definitely pieces of it. And the next thing is seasonal affects, right? So shorter days, less sunlight, and colder weather can definitely play a role in leaving you feel kind of stuck in a low energy loop, especially if you're someone affected by seasonal changes. And I love sunshine, and it has definitely been gray, overcast. Here in Oceanside, California, where we currently are, for the last solid week to 10 days. So we're heading to Arizona on Saturday, so I'm actually really looking forward to that. So just from me telling you that story, and we often walk the same walk. So I was doing the same thing. I was lacking, I talked to my husband. We had great, meaningful conversations, but maybe someone new. So I wasn't having those conversations. And again, I talked to patients and stuff, but, in person. And then the seasonal effects, I think, is definitely affecting me more because I'm usually outside more when it's a little bit warmer. So those are the things that probably were affecting me, and maybe they're affecting you. So how do you approach this, right? So first of all, you acknowledge it without judgment, right? That's so important. The first step is just kind of getting out of the ball mood, is acknowledging that you're actually in one, right? Without labeling it yourself as lazy or unmotivated. It's totally easy to beat yourself up for feeling this way, but that usually just makes the problem worse. I mean, part of me was like, why are you feeling bad, Lori? You have everything. It's your great day. It's you're moving your body. You're feeling good. What's going on, right? So it's really easy to do that. But just recognize that the feeling is temporary and normal, right? Your mood does not define you. It's okay to feel blah from time to time. Guess what? That's part of our human experience. So again, you want to acknowledge it without judgment, and I know that can take some time. But just do that. It'll take the pressure off and give you the space to process what's really going on. So how can we get some quick actions to boost your mood? Well, number one, move your body, even if you don't feel like it. So maybe, it doesn't have to be intense workout to break the blah cycle, but a simple walk, some stretching, even dancing in your kitchen for 5 minutes can get your blood flowing, signal to your brain that it's time to wake up. Movement releases endorphins, your body's natural mood boosters, right? So even a small burst of activity can totally make a noticeable difference. Number two is shift your focus. If your day feels stagnant, try changing your environment or your routine, even in a small way. So if you've been sitting indoors for hours, go outside for just a little bit. If your to-do list feels overwhelming, switch to a creative task or something less mentally taxing. Often a fresh perspective can really shake things loose. Three, connect with someone. Isolation can deepen the blah feeling. So reach out to a friend or a loved one. Whether a quick chat or a deeper conversation can totally uplift you emotionally. Sometimes just voicing how you can feel can lighten the mood, especially if someone else can offer some insight or humor. Number four is nourish your body. What you consume plays a role in how you feel. So hydrate, grab a snack rich in nutrients, have a warm, comforting meal. Even slight dehydration or hunger can totally lower your mood. Giving your body the proper fuel can absolutely improve your energy levels. Number 5, do something new. When was the last time you tried going out of the ordinary? Whether it's cooking a new recipe, starting a small creative project, or even maybe exploring a new walking route, right? Which I should be doing. Novelty helps shake up kind of those mental patterns that contribute to feeling blah. Number 6 is take a mindful break. So just set aside 5 minutes to do nothing but breathe. Close your eyes, unless you're driving or walking. Take some deep breaths and focus on the present moment. Mindfulness helps break those cycles of overthinking or zoning out and can ground you in the here and now, making it easier to move forward. And I'd like to highlight, being present allows you to stop the blahs from progressing into irritation. And really, just because I was feeling blah doesn't mean I had to go make someone else feel their day blah, right? I need to figure this out. Only I'm responsible for what's going on inside of myself, right? So as long as I'm taking responsibility for that and I am not going to share that with someone else, things will get better. Because the last thing I need to do is make someone else feel bad, which will go and spread like a horrible disease. It'll be like COVID on steroids, right? You see this negative feelings share. I will share something else that happened on the walk on the way back, which is really interesting just about this. So I was walking back and there's a row of homes, and across the street there was a car, an SUV with a lady and 2 kiddos in the back, and her husband was in the back of the kiddos, and people were waving by and they're saying, I love you. And we're like, oh, that's so nice. The family got to see each other. It's kind of like when you see someone hugging each other at the airport. It just, I don't know, makes me happy. So they're like, oh, that is so cool. And so they back out and they go. But then as they start moving forward, right behind them comes this other car that wasn't associated with them. And out of nowhere, the woman in the passenger side was screaming at the top of her lungs, I'm assuming at her husband who was driving. I mean, it went from wonderful positive feelings and made me feel good to this woman's, do you hear Daisy snoring? Anyway, literally to this woman screaming at her husband at the top of her lungs, saying things that I will not repeat. But it literally, the energy went from me feeling good to me being like, whoa, and kind of like that. So it's really interesting. I'll never see these people again, probably ever. They have no idea that their energy affected me, right? I mean, it didn't make me feel bad, but I just felt bad for the poor guy driving. And it's like, but it was weird though, just to see such a stark contrast a minute apart. So understand that even if you aren't speaking to someone directly, if the look on your face, if you're smiling, all of that, we affect so many people in our surrounding environment. So take heed that, we want to send positive, loving, good energy out in this world because God knows we need more of it. But anyway, just thought I'd share that. It came to mind. But next is just really reflect on your body and my need, right? So often your blah mood is a signal that you're not giving yourself something you need, whether it's, again, mental rest, emotional engagement, physical activity. Just take a moment to check in with yourself. Are you mentally exhausted from too much stimulation or not enough? Do you feel disconnected, uninspired by your surroundings? Could your body use more movement or relaxation? And just answering those questions can, again, offer insight and kind of shift the mood. And I think me starting to ask myself why I was feeling that set me up to be aware how my mood shifted for the rest of the walk, from the conversation with the 2 gentlemen to the stark contrast between these 2 cars. And it was such an impact on me that I actually came back and it was the first thing I was telling my husband. I was like, you won't believe what happened. This is so weird. And, just understanding that. Yeah. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. Hopefully it'll resonate with you. But, I do want to, highlight if sometimes the blah mood lingers a little longer than you like, and then the usual tricks don't work, but I don't want you to panic. Forcing yourself to snap out of it often leads to frustration. So instead, just kind of be kind to yourself, right? Recognize that your mood is fluctuating for a reason and give yourself permission to feel it without expectation that it will disappear instantly. So if the blah mood persists for weeks and begins to impact your daily functioning, it might be really worth exploring deeper causes such as unresolved emotional stress, mild depression. But again, for the occasional slump, gentleness, small, intentional changes can be the perfect remedy. So again, just take an opportunity to uh, think about what I said. I hope you found that helpful. And as always, I truly appreciate all of you being here, and definitely sending out love and joy and peace and healing for you, yourself, and your loved ones. And yeah, I hope this resonates with you. So thanks for being here as always. And don't forget to sign up to the subscribe below the newsletter if you're so inclined. And share this video if you think it'll be helpful with someone. And if you can hear that snore, it's not me, obviously. It's Daisy who's snoring. So have a good day, everyone, and blessings this evening and the rest of your week. I hope it's